Greetings once again. This is Kev, and this is Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Uh, Let me let you know already that, if you are watching right now from the cloud or watching the replay because you didn't catch it live, then you are the greatest. So if it's your first time here, uh, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. That's for the algorithm. Likes are definitely for free, but if you want to do something that isn't exactly free, there's my Cash App tag scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And I also have a super chat. So, I would appreciate that. And what those super chats and those Cash Apps do is uh, if you want to do that, that you support the idea of uh, lengthier streams and even more streams. I've had a couple of people ask me, maybe Kevin, maybe can you schedule one more stream per week? And it's something that I feel that the channel does deserve to have a little bit more traffic and a little bit more content on it. So let's move ahead to the future. So, yeah, it's gonna be a cool and interesting journey. It already has been actually. Looking forward to seeing what else is gonna happen. So yeah, I do appreciate everything and get some shout outs in the comments. We got Phil Brad in the house. We got Barry Little, Dane Wan. What's going on? Barry Little already says not one vote for Stacey Abrams unless she runs us our tangibles. I cannot disagree with that. Um, if you're a politician, you need to be trying to earn our votes. One thing that we're not known for as a group of voters is the people you know who run, who are usually of a certain political party, automatically gets our votes. And why should they do anything for us if they're going to just automatically get it? And I don't understand how much sense does that actually make. I mean, you we don't do enough to vote within our best interest. We just say, hey, we just gonna do that one party and that's it. I think we need to do a deep analysis of the politicians that we decide to put in office, because it just seems like it's sort of a business, sort of a balls club. Also, also, oh, okay, we got a super chat from Barry Little. I really appreciate that. This guy's the best. Thanks for your support of the stream. Uh, yeah. So when coming on these YouTube channels, this what we're about to discuss is exactly why it is so challenging for a black man to get his opinion out there, or to get his word and get our view out there, because it's needed. There's definitely not enough black men to do that. The black men who have done it historically have put their lives on the line. But today you have people, male and female, that doesn't have to go through a journey to be able to get a voice out there. Greg, what's going on? All they have to do is start a TikTok or an Instagram account or a YouTube channel. And one of the things I'm thinking about is, how qualified are we into having certain discussions? The tone of which this is being addressed is once again very, very condescending toward the black men. and is just they'll just put it to you like this: it needs to be black men out here that is able to uh, have a voice in the pushback because look, we our votes are basically shit at this point. The way we treat our vote, we don't value anything. Like I said, we don't value anything black, so we just kind of treat it as just some cheap shit you get out of a dollar store. You know, as far as how we look at blackness these days, if it is accepted by other groups and they have the mass media, access media, mainstream media, then that's when we care about it. So yeah, it's yeah. Well, back to what I was saying. Anybody can get given a voice. Uh, just start a YouTube channel if you have a certain amount of things you have to get off your chest and wanted to be able to reach a wider audience in such. Uh, the problem with that is, yes, there are a lot of people who are underqualified to have certain conversations. And this particular conversation here is of a political nature. I mean, the extent of my qualifications are as follows. I've taken a couple of civics classes in school, I would say, and I watch the news. I don't watch too much of something that is trying to force feed me a narrative. We have the wherewithal to research into things and um, make those decisions for ourselves. My suggestion to anyone who has a platform is to not come up here stupid and uninformed and pushing lies and scapegoats. Yeah, but yeah, that's the reality we live in. That anyone can get up here and speak and talk, and this this that's no secret. We have these people who we also have people who complain about such when a regular Joe, average everyday person gets up here and is able to speak to uh, people such as you who is in the clouds watching and who are also in the chat. Um, and we're able to discuss with you various topics. I would say the qualifier for this particular discussion that is most important to myself, most of all, is that I am a black man. In the sense of how it's defined by Western culture. Except for all the little petty, stereotypical shit. Yeah. Uh, I've done a little research on this, and I also reside in the state where a lot like all of this is going on. Like, I would say, we got two very big important races going on. Raphael Warnock and let's see, Herschel Walker, and of course, Stacey Abrams versus Brian Kemp. Now, personally, if you believe that Herschel Walker is qualified if you reside in the state of Georgia and you believe Herschel Walker is qualified, I would probably recommend you get your head examined. I mean, just you probably like people who are full of it, but still, it's your vote. And the whole point of this is to not tell you what you need to be doing with your vote. But Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. But it should be easy for a person, for a candidate who has gone at this is her second attempt. It's her second attempt. So, she didn't get it right the first time. She could. Well, here's the levity of this for Miss Stacey Abrams, politician, candidate for governor of the state. Which a lot of people don't believe that's a good idea, but uh, it's incumbent upon Stacey Abrams to win the vote at the end of the day, to win the vote, to win us, because I do believe that many of us in this black community, as some would call it, are beginning to wake up. Many of us black men are beginning to wake up because we're beginning to notice this, like I said, this tone. Not enough of us, you know, in the past noticed, or we did notice and we just ignored it and acted like it was nothing. Therefore, making the said group of people, in this case the B Dub, the black woman, approach you in a very harsh, direct tone when it comes to things such as who you vote for, where your political loyalty should lie. And what that does is, for the more I would say self-aware black man, thinking black man of 2022, we're beginning to kind of see what's going on, and it's just like, look, it's like, you ever had something go over your head, and when you realize what it actually was that went over your head, you just go get so pissed off about it. This is kind of what this is becoming. When you talk to us like that, and you can say whatever the fuck you want about, if whether we get mad if you address black men in a certain way, it's a turn off. In whatever situation, it's a turn off. That, at least, that's kind of the first stage, and then the pushback begins. Black men have been turned off to certain things for years, and now we are beginning to push back. Hybrid catastrophic impact, S83rd power, and RPM. What is up? And weather. What is going on? Good to see you guys tonight. It's a serious turnoff. Why the fuck? Or if one of you guys came up to me and say, "Hey, guy, you better vote for this because you black, and that's it, nigga. You don't need to know anything else except that." Then I'm probably gonna turn around and say, "Hey, if you guy." Now, for those of you who are watching and don't know why I got Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed in the title, if you haven't watched this particular newscast, I mean, it's an MSNBC clip, uh, then you're probably in the dark, and you probably think I'm just using names for, just to get people over here. I mean, the whole point, well, a lot of the point of a YouTube channel is to increase your algorithm and to get more eyes on your channel. So, that's halfway correct. The other thing is, these were two names were mentioned in particular. If you watch YouTube channels where people other than MSNBC are talking, then obviously you don't know what you're talking about. If you being a black man, if you decide that you want to tune in to Kevin Samuel's content or Tariq Nasheed's content, you need to you need to stop acting like a fucking child and get in line with black women to vote for Stacey Abrams. Already Stacey Abrams' numbers aren't that great, so they're 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 doing a media campaign to lay this at black men's feet any way they fucking can, and also killing two birds with one stone, uh, taking swipes at free speech spaces like the Black Manosphere, because they're gonna connect it all. You know, these Negroes we have in this space are already connecting it. You know, they connect us to motherfuckers we ain't never heard of before. They're doing everything they possibly can to silence these guys. I mean, a lot of the rhetoric that is in these spaces is problematic, but a lot of the rhetoric in these spaces also need to be heard, or you can choose to hear it. Yeah. So Tiffany Cross is the one. From what I understand, is this young lady's name. You know, I'm not gonna do her like, shout out to Professor Black Truth, but I've listened to quite a few points of views on this. He was calling her Tiffany Cross Eyes, and it's whatever on that. But Dane Juan said she a baddie, but yeah, she alright for real. But it's getting to the point where she said some things that are becoming tiresome to black men, and I hope that you guys understand that. Also, with Stacey Abrams, she is, I would probably have to say, somewhat of an intersectional feminist. Not surprised at all. I'm sure she had some comments about the sick baby beating heart at 6 weeks. She said something to the tune of, "That's not a real heartbeat. The machine is fabricating that sound just so the parents can have some type of connection with the growing fetus inside the body." Um, I've looked that up myself. I'll get more into that. I'll look that up myself, and I'll get more into the findings, what I found. But I think it's about time for a reaction, because I put that particular link in the in my community tab, and we're just gonna watch it from there. What I want black men to understand it is that if Stacey Abrams loses this election, and this will be her second attempt, if she loses for the second time, it's not your fault, bruh. And if we want to get into this little mudslinging about who's causing who to lose elections, hell, if and I'm about to mention Andrew Gillum, but this is pre-scandal Andrew Gillum. Pre-scandal, this is before he was caught butt naked lying in his own vomit in a hotel room. But quite frankly, I think that was a setup. But I don't have the evidence for that. I mean, visually, it looks fucking horrible. If any of you have seen those pictures, but if we want to slang mud toward genders about who's causing who to win what, and lose what, if if black women had voted for Andrew Gillum at, I would say, 92, 93%, like they voted for the white Senator Bill Nelson in Florida that year, instead of 83%, Andrew Gillum would have been the governor instead of Ron DeSantis. So, I mean, you can research that info for yourself. This is why I would suggest to anyone that frequents the media and such, that doing this gender thing when it comes to these kinds of elections is not a good idea. And at the end of the day, these politicians need to earn your fucking vote anyway. We need to stop thinking in terms of, oh well, because because of said skin color. Because really, well, it seems to me like whenever there's anybody that gets in these positions that's supposed to be for us or black, they go for themselves, and no real tangible change ever happens. Obama. So yeah. Let me see what Weather says. She's going to lose because white voters in Georgia aren't ever going to embrace a radical pro-choice, black feminist status for uh, statewide office. Also, remember these two important things. Number one, she's championing the idea of Georgia becoming a sanctuary state for illegals. Meaning that an illegal will probably have more rights than you in the state of Georgia if she's able to do that. And shout out to Mr. Fantastic 824 who also pointed this out to me in a chat the other day. The sanctuary state will be, if she were to ever succeed with that, it'll be the only one in the South. Also, Brian Kemp gave the state of Georgia constitutional carry, which is a big thing with voters and our guns. We like our guns, so I mean, people can be bought for very cheap. I'll put it to you like that. If change is something that we were actually seeking when we cast our vote, then elections would look a lot different. So you can say whatever you want to about that. She would turn the entire state of Georgia into Atlanta. GG. GG, what's going on? Says Stacey Abrams should be more concerned with running the treadmill and not a state. Say, we'll take that as a factual observation. But yeah, let me go ahead and show y'all this. Let's do a little reaction time. Let me get a fair use. Even though it is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, fair. Yeah, that should be good enough. Fair use on any of this. What I'm about to show you. All right, just one moment. And also, if you haven't hit like, please hit that like button. You know, I have a I have a tendency to become somewhat perturbed by certain things. This particular clip is called "Are Black Men the Key to Stacey Abrams Becoming Georgia's Next Governor?" So we have to have some type of contingency plan just in case she loses. So let's go ahead and blame black men for it. Yeah, they showing scathing ads about Raphael Warnock.
I joined Uber One because I hate.
Okay, all right, come on now. See, YouTube is starting to. Oh, Sarah Silverman, a big fucking liberal. I'm sure that's not by accident. Oh, here we go. And there you got Roland Martin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to react. I'm going to I'm going to stop the video at certain parts. And let's see. Here we go. You know, let's do this. So this is a conversation that has been taken off in this space. I didn't notice it at first. If I would have noticed it, I would have done this a lot sooner. But here we go. It's Tiffany Cross and Roland Martin, and think about two more pundits. Let's do this.
Coming up, I want to turn to Georgia, which is on everyone's minds because less than 2 months out from the midterms, and at the center of the conversation among many black men. That rarely happens, and I want to center black men today. Right now, we could be looking at a split ticket. Senator Raphael Warnock is leading in his race against Herschel Walker, but Stacey Abrams is behind Governor Kemp. Now, Abrams says if black men vote for her, she'll win. But the math ain't really math in there, and I know Roland has a lot.
See what they're doing already. See what Stacey Abrams is already setting. She's already setting black men up for the okie doke. But this should be something that we are quite used to, and just. And I mean, like, I don't totally disagree with Tiffany Cross. It's just that she starts to kind of decline into a bullshit direction. But you guys that are watching right now, I mean, I may think it's a bullshit direction. You may believe it's something else. So let's continue to watch.
A lot of thoughts about that. I want to bring into the conversation Cliff Albright. He's the co-founder of Black Voters Matter Fund, and Terrence Woodbury. He's a Democratic pollster and CEO and founding partner of Hit Strategies. Cliff, I do want to start with you since you're on ground there in Georgia. We'll get to the debate between Walker and Warnock in a second, but just being on ground there, Cliff, what do you make of that? Like, are black men large in number enough to decide this race for Stacey Abrams? Or is this just a headline that's, more yellow journalism and sensationalism than truth?
It's sensationalism. I mean, they know it's sensationalism. It's planting the seeds to attempt to scapegoat black men. This is why I say that you shouldn't put up with a lot of bullshit. A lot of you guys want to, and from the way this guy is about to speak, he wants to put up with a lot of bullshit. So just kind of listen to what he says.
Yeah, good morning, Tiffany. Great to be here with you. Yeah, I mean, obviously, black
Already that sweet tone, Jesus.
males, black men voters make up enough of a block where we can be a part of what the difference is. And we got to keep in mind we're talking about a state where in the presidential election in 20, the difference
Doesn't
was
give actual numbers.
those 11,700 votes that Trump was trying to find someplace. So in a situation like that, yeah, black men as a voting bloc can be a big part of the equation. And, whether or not they come out, we come out, black men in Georgia come out and support Stacey at the same rate that black women do is a legitimate question. Now certainly black men aren't going to bear the brunt of what happens in this election on their own, no more than black women should bear the brunt of it. Some white folks could have to wake up.
Okay, all right. Number one, stop expecting white people to do shit for you. It's like that's always been dumb as shit. I've hated that. I always believe that black people are more qualified to say what to dictate what directions black people should go in. It is like, and the way he's stating it is like, somehow, Stacey Abrams is entitled. No, Stacey Abrams has to do like every other politician, like Raphael Warnock in her own state of Georgia. You're gonna have to earn that vote. Stop with these dumbass excuses. Like,
and actually do the right thing in the state if they wanted to move forward. But I think that it is smart to raise this issue because at the end of the day, and we hate to admit it, but there is some number of black men that will just refuse to vote. It's the sexism, it's the patriarchy that just refuse to vote for.
Oh, get the fuck up out of here, sir. If you're even qualified for me to call you sir. See, this I already don't like this. This is the kind of guy. I mean, I don't know his name or deem it as like what he's saying. It matters more. This is the kind of guy that probably sits up here and finds websites to go comment on and troll people and defend She-Hulk. I mean, seriously, man. This guy sounds like this sounds like the kind of shit that FD Signifier would say. It's ridiculous. The sexism and something has to be addressed. So like, and then this is what I hate. It's okay. So when a man loses the vote, is it sexism then, or is it the fact that he just didn't do good enough? Like when Bob Dole lost, was it sexism? Shit. It is like I think he even mentions Hillary Clinton. It's like, why the fuck should we like? I'm just one of those guys. Is why should we care about white women problems? But you know, he already with the bullshit. You're already with the bullshit. When I have such a reaction to such, they'll probably say, well, maybe you're insecure because you have these issues. No, nigga, no, stop trying to make all these attempts to shame black men. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, we have to talk about this. No, the fuck we don't. If you want equal and fair treatment, is stop when you run in positions that men have to run also. Sexism and misogyny is not an issue in the realm of equality. Period. So it's like all the virtue signaling is just dumb and very disingenuous.
For women, whether that woman is Stacey Abrams or whether it was Hillary Clinton.
Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton. This motherfucker.
And that's an issue that we have to address. Again, that's not.
No, we don't have to address it. Stop virtue signaling.
But we have to address that, and we have to be willing to call that out and call it what it is.
What it? Oh God, this commercial is a nemesis of mine.
Yeah. Well, Terrence, you're on ground doing work, doing polling there. And so I think Cliff raises a really good point, which I want to dig into. But Terrence, I want to ask you just for the math part.
Black men owe you nothing at this point.
To lay this at the feet
it's 2022. We're still having these same problems.
Black men overwhelmingly vote Democratic. And so as a pollster, I'm curious your take on this conversation around black male voters in Georgia.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tiffany. The truth is that the Democratic support gap between men and women is not unique to black voters. There's a gender gap amongst all voters where men are more likely to vote conservative. Now, when you look at the math here, Stacey Abrams lost in 2018 by 55,000 votes. Had black men voted for Stacey Abrams at the same rate as black women, she would have had 120,000 more votes. So there is math there. The challenge is that since
says too. Well, where to get that number from? I'm interested. 120,000 more votes if black men had voted at the same rate as black women. Okay, you look. I remember when same case when Roy Moore and Doug Jones was running for the Senate. I forgot what that year was. Was that back in 2018? And there's Roy Moore, supposedly this huge racist, and Doug Jones, was the good guy Democrat that needed to get in office to keep this evil man out. We as a people, we vote in protest. We don't vote for a candidate that we're really psyched about. And there's a lot of bullshit out there anyway. So what happened was Doug Jones did win. The evil Roy Moore was kept out of office. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about these folks for real. And I think what happened in the final polls, it was like 93% of black male voters and 96 to 97% of black female voters had they voted and got Doug Jones in. And what happened was I think the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. He has a pundit, correspondent, whatever you want to call her, named Dulce Sloan. Dulce Sloan, Dulce Sloan really got up there, really was bragging on a high horse. Oh, we didn't get one. We kept one white man from getting in office just to put another one in. So, congratulate us. Trevor Noah was saying black people, and then she turned around and said, well, not just black people, black women. Give us our props. We saved the election. This is why, and this is why I always recommend to simps that you should shut the fuck up because screw those 93% of black men. Now, here's a fun fact to it. Dulce Sloan, for those of you who don't know who Dulce Sloan is from the state of Florida. She was born in the state of Florida. The same state of Florida like pre-scandal Andrew Gillum lost the governor race to Ron DeSantis. Because if black women had voted for Andrew Gillum as furiously and as passionately as they voted for the white Senator Bill Nelson, who looked like he was like older than Bernie Sanders, then Andrew Gillum would have been governor and not Ron DeSantis. And Ron DeSantis probably might be the next Republican candidate for president. They're already making a push for DeSantis because I don't know if Trump is going to work out. I mean, you know, a lot of people talking about some Trump 2024. But, you know, based on everything, you know, do we think for those of you out there that want Trump back in, do y'all think this is a good idea for Trump to run based on, you know, what they're trying to do to him in the media as far as January 6th? Okay, so yeah, the reason why I put emphasis on pre-scandal Andrew Gillum because like I said, what happened was not a good look for him. It was not a good look for him. Those who defended him when he lost, such as myself somewhat, was ashamed because he embarrassed himself and he embarrassed his family. I know I said that I believe it was a setup earlier, but it did look like it was a setup. I was like, how the hell you get all those photos of that? It's like, damn. And it's so it was so strategically placed. It's like dude was butt naked. They were disgusting. So, you know, I just want to offer clarity. I am mindful of that. But, you know, just back to the story. I mean, she championed Doug Jones. Doug Jones, by the way, in Alabama. Doug Jones lost to Tommy Tuberville, a guy who used to coach Auburn football back in the early 2000s. That's who Doug Jones would end up losing to. But who the fuck cares? Senators get a salary for the rest of their lives just for serving 2 years. Because, see, that's the shit y'all don't pay attention to. Why they come up with all these scandals and all these distractions. That's what they do on Capitol Hill. That's who people like Nancy Pelosi, uh, Bernie Sanders, uh, Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell. All they do is sit up on Capitol Hill and vote to make their own lives better and worry free. And you know, and the ultimate effect of that is the ultimate effect of that is now you got black men really not giving a fuck about going to vote because it's just not it's not nothing is ever in our favor. And you know, I'm gonna be one of the first ones to admit that if black men want black men situation to improve, we're gonna have to put boots to the ground for ourselves. So let's continue with this. No, I kind of went on a rant.
2018, Republicans have doubled down on their efforts, coordinated and expensive investments targeting black men, targeting men of color. And in 2020, we saw Donald Trump double his margins amongst black men in Georgia, a difference of 370,000 votes. The gap between black men and black
What does this have to do with Trump?
370,000 votes in Georgia.
You're just trying to make people mad.
And while that is not unique to black men, and we see that gap amongst all men of color, the difference with black men is that they were Democratic voters. These were Obama voters. And some would argue that they were only Obama voters. They were never, in fact, Democratic voters. And that is what...
Say that is true. Because of the dip in support, wouldn't you want to see... When you want to know why there's a dip in support, you know, wouldn't you want to take a sincere approach to all of this instead of what's about to happen? You know, we including myself, we were kind of disappointed at the end of Obama's terms.
Democrats have work to do to prove that since 2020, they have made progress on the issues that matter most to black men, and that they have a plan for black men moving forward.
All right, so Cliff mentioned Hillary Clinton, Terrence.
Roland Martin, typical. Yeah, he's kind of a Democratic shield. He's kind of been on the line lately. And I know that we, said our things about Roland Martin. I mean, I don't totally disagree with what he's about to say. But we all have said what we have said before. So,
About Obama, we have to take this thing back a decade. Okay, why am I wearing this shirt? It's my Alpha shirt. First of all, we vote, but here's why. Black men are the second most loyal voting bloc of the Democratic Party. Who's number one? Black women. So let's just be real clear who black men are voting for. In 2012, there was a
I want black women that are listening to know that that is not an accolade at all. In fact, if you want to, and we've often said that Democratic voters don't want off the plantation. Now, if any of that was true, then who is more lost? And once again, the answer is
a 9-point gap between black men and black women, Obama Romney. So people try to make this out to be about totally sexism. That's not true. With two men running and black men. Black men were not happy with Obama. They
let me tell y'all something. In sexism, in discussions that include sexism, when like it was like the point I made earlier. If you want to be in an equal environment, then you're going to have to take the punches, just like the men do. Not physical punches, but she just like Obama, just like Mitt Romney in the election that he just mentioned. They had to, they had to earn people's vote. It wasn't a question of sexism. So let's listen and continue.
felt he should have done more because on the issue of economics, on criminal justice, and no things along those lines. And so what then happens? You go to 16, now it's a 13-point gap. You go to 20, now it expands. But here's a race people ignore, and Terrence knows this as well. Tom Tillis, the architect of voter suppression in North Carolina, was getting around 18% as well. Why? Because Democrats were ignoring that constituency.
Sorry about that, people. Thanks for the ones that stayed in and were patient. Kind of messed up the audience a little bit, but hopefully they come back. Uh, you know, but let me go ahead and continue with this. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Uh, let's see. Share screen. Yeah, yeah, you guys deserve better. But, All right, let me go back in. Let me go back a little bit.
The issue of economics, criminal justice, and things along those lines. And so what then happens? You go to 16, now it's a 13-point gap. You go to 20, now it expands. But here's a race people ignore, and Terrence knows this as well. Tom Tillis, the architect of voter suppression in North Carolina, was getting around 18% as well. Why? Because Democrats were ignoring that constituency. Black women also organized and mobilized to force the Democratic Party to pay more attention to them. In many cases, black men within the party have not actually done that. So what you're seeing are black men.
Yeah. I had, when he said black men within the party hadn't done that, I think of guys like Jim Clyburn and Cory Booker, guys like that, uh, that only made plays for themselves. When Biden got elected, Jim Clyburn going on places like MSNBC saying things like, I don't need anything for my vote. I just want to feel good. I mean, I don't know how many people remember that, but is like I said, these guys, whether they serve one term, 2 terms, 5 terms, they get a 6-figure salary for the rest of their lives. Like I said, these are the kind of things that they distract you from, as far as what happens when it comes to politics. So can you really say is that, they're telling you that you can't get this super health care, but they can get it. That's really like the kind of things that people talk about that are a slap in the face to us as voters. So let's continue.
Who are saying you're not paying attention to me, you're ignoring what's happening when it comes to economics, you're ignoring me when it comes to the critical issues. And so what the Democratic Party has not done is create a specific strategy to target those individuals, because it comes down to numbers.
When you ignore a demographic of voters, don't expect their vote. Unless, of course, you're talking about black folks, which we just hand our votes over to the Democratic Party. There's a reason for alarm at this point because of the fact that there are many individuals that are beginning to wake up from this nonsense. Like, who wants to keep getting handed symbolism on a plate?
Numbers. Warnock beat Kelly Loeffler by less than 100,000 votes. And so you're the Democratic Party.
He still won.
Ignoring these numbers. What did Terrence just say? You are ignoring the potential to win. You should be trying to get every vote. And I'm just going to go ahead and put it out here because someone has to say it. The fundamental problem with the Democratic Party is that white strategists are controlling the money, are controlling the strategy.
Yeah.
Yes, African Americans are having input, but if you're trying to win, you better listen to black people. You better fund these initiatives. Otherwise, you're going to lose. And that gap is going to widen.
And fund candidates.
What I'll say is about this. If you got, all these black women that support and put boots to the ground for the Democratic Party, why haven't those same black women communicated the concerns of both black men and black women to the Democratic Party? And yes, like I said, the black men who are in the Democratic Party, who got a place at the table, don't do anything but sit on their asses. Then, so in a nutshell, why should why should anyone give you their vote if their concerns are ignored, and, you have, political parties such as the Democratic Party who use, just like Black Lives Matter, use the deaths of black men as a virtue signal for votes. My opponent is racist. Vote for me.
Fund candidates instead of meddling around in Republican elections trying to put one over the other because you think they're easier to beat.
Yeah.
Fund candidates,
but also off-year strategies.
Right.
You can't come talk to black men in the middle of September.
Yeah.
The election is November. And I called it. They should have been doing.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Why are you saying this shit in less than 2 months before the election? Why now? I mean, I guess that they believe that they had it in the bag. But those numbers ain't, the what do they say? The math ain't mathing. But Roland Martin is making another good point that I kind of agree with.
This in January
Yeah.
after Biden got inaugurated to build up a program so when elections come, now you properly prep.
Yeah. And
Yep. What is the first thing the Democratic Party did and Biden did once he got elected? He signed bills for other groups of people besides black people. As much as black people celebrated Biden getting elected, he went to bat for other groups very fucking quickly. And this is the kind of thing that we look at when we cast our vote. I mean, most of us still don't look at it, but some of us, more of us are.
invest in black media, brother. We know that.
Black-owned media, not black-targeted.
Black-owned media.
Absolutely.
Cliff, listen, I think Roland made a really legitimate point here.
Oh, here it
I will
comes.
say, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored, and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat.
Like I said, a fucking turn off. Let's hear that again.
Absolutely.
Cliff, listen, I think Roland made a really legitimate point here. I will say, a lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down.
Okay, all right. See, this is where I started to get a little heated. So, like, Roland Martin did all right, but the other two putzes really didn't do any. Like, why are they not speaking? I mean, not like the guy at the top who, in my estimation, is an intersectional feminist. Is why aren't these like why the fuck is she speaking on what black men are concerned with?
Particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But
yes it is. Yes it is. How she kind of slipped that in there real quick. Black women in the media, have not been very favorable to black men. But yet and still, we always end up the ones being called the self-hater, the coon, and the sellout. So, I mean, however you view that.
I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored, and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not...
And look, I don't know if it were BGS or Professor Black Truth that made this particular point right here. When you say stuff like that, you're the oppressed. Number one, in 2022, a lot of black men don't feel oppressed. Let's when you say some shit like that, you're gonna have to kind of speak for yourself, because what that is a projection from the representative of the group of people that always put themselves in the victimhood mindset. So, when you say oppressed and then you look at 2022, where all these little virtue signals and the freedom to say whatever the fuck you want to say, especially on platforms such as YouTube. Also, when shit like this happens, this or being said in this condescending tone, talking to black men like children, which I've been noticing since Hillary Clinton ran for president, they kind of did it subtly, but in recent years, ever since that, it's gotten worse. They put these black faces up here to be our representative, and then talk to us like we're fucking children, like, that's what it's going to take to get our vote. Don't insult us, period. So
putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please.
Triggered. She is triggered because she watches Tariq Nasheed and Kevin Samuels, which is the reason why I had, the thumbnail, why I did the thumbnail the way I did it, and why both of those channels' names are in the title. Not just for the algorithm purposes, but why those two names in particular. Kevin Samuels did not, getting back to being qualified for the conversation. I mean, Kevin Samuels probably said some things every now and again, but he wasn't heavily into politics like that. He was talking to black men and black women about their image and dating and shit. For some reason, it is a problem for many of you jackasses. But that's a whole nother conversation. People are still triggered, and this man has been dead for a few months now. Tiffany Cross, do you feel average at best? I mean, shit, I'm sorry to say that most people are average. Most people are. That's just what it is. Tariq has kind of been inserted as one of the thought leaders of forward progression for ADOS, FBA, Western cultured blacks. The reason why I believe that either one of these guys are mentioned is because of the massive attention that they get without the assistance of the mainstream media. We have this mindset as black folks that if it comes on mainstream media, if it comes on the television, since it's backed by money, that is more acceptable. That's more acceptable than a regular, average, everyday black man getting on a YouTube channel to speak, getting on a podcast to speak. Oh yeah, they're so triggered by the podcast. But a really big issue here is just not only, you got black people on the screen that's not being very good representatives, and I gotta say the senior person in this whole thing is Roland Martin, even though he's not much better with it at times. The intersectional feminist at the top, and the so-called numbers guy that they brought in did not do a very good job at all. Like, I'm sick and tired of people sitting in the presence of people who are detracting black men and not saying a fucking thing. Like it's going to be something wrong with you actually saying things on behalf of black men. I understand that we're not used to such behaviors, especially on behalf of black men. And, a lot of these black people, or NIGGAs, will call you a dick rider for doing such. How fucking mature. But black men, you gotta understand, man, I don't give a fuck who it is. You gotta stop letting motherfuckers talk down to you. So let's continue.
Please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority.
So what's the truth? I mean, it's certainly not what we've been dealing with. Oh, the truth is, and this is what we've been misled on. The truth is, if we vote for Democrats, that somehow things are gonna magically happen for black folks. The Republican Party are not the only alternatives. There are people that run independent. realize the truth of what? That, people like Professor Black Truth and BGS, I didn't mention the point they made. I'm sorry, guys. Um, that it was the Democrats that wanted to keep us in slavery. So technically, during the arguably the worst period in the history of your average Black American, you know, as far as our lineage is concerned, the Democrats were the one that wanted to keep us in. The Republicans freed us, but it wasn't like it was some monumentally great thing, that they did by doing such. There were certain things that was to that as well. But at least we ain't walking around in 2022, baling cotton for free, getting our asses beat for free. So, I mean, I would say that. But I mean, what is up with this mindset? Like, just voting for certain people is just what's going to save this community instead of a proactive, grassroots, boot to the ground effort, in your local communities. Instead, is what she said at the beginning, fucking media sensationalism and being your average typical B-dub Black woman on social media, thinking that you can just talk down to Black men and we're just gonna straighten the fuck up and do whatever the fuck you say, because we should be, because some of whom listen to Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed. How educated she just sounded, along with these schmoes that she's talking to. Fair use people. You don't talk to people like they're fucking children. Black men need to understand and accept that.
Like he said, vote Democrat. But that margin of people who can be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that.
You have to offer clarity. What policies? What policies? What policies? I ask this question ever so often to people who want to act like that they're these political experts. I was like, okay, so your current president, Joe Biden, what policies has he written over his almost 50-year political career that harmed Black people disproportionately? And then here's the shit kicker question: what policies did Trump write that harmed the Black community disproportionately? And no one will fucking answer that question. They treat me like I'm some kind of COON, because how dare I make a suggestion that Trump was just some kind of point of trigger for some of you. That the people that y'all love so much are the people that's fucking you from the back and you don't even know that sensation that you're getting and where it's coming from. Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. It's like the white people that are nice to you when you're there in the public, but then when they get behind closed doors, it's N-word this, N-word that, monkey this, jungle bunny that. For those of you who are offended by or triggered by what I just said, then I'm from Alabama, so we kind of have that disposition for a disclaimer. Black men could play critical role in Georgia elections. Do not lay this at the feet of Black men. Lay this at Stacey Abrams' lack of expedience. Jesus.
Yeah, and you've got three things that wind up happening. And first, let me shout out, as Roland mentioned, his Alpha Phi Alpha shirt. We've got a program where we reach out to Divine Nine, and AFI has been one of the organizations that was most aggressive at getting involved, like answering the call and reaching out to Black men to mobilize.
Cliff Albright,
back in 20 and 21, and we expect to do the same this year.
Co-founder of the Black Voters Matter Fund.
You see 2 or 3 different possible responses.
Intersectional feminist.
Black men, and to what extent we feel ignored, and to what extent the candidates in the party are addressing our issues. One is that we just stay home, right, which is what you were kind of talking about. The other is that we actually come out and we vote for the opponent who we know isn't doing us any good, right? In this case, that would be voting for Kemp. But there's this other option, and that's what some of these polls are getting at, is that you see some that are like,
So when Kemp did constitutional carry, did he say black people couldn't carry guns? Now we understand how some of these old trigger happy racist cops act. We understand that, from the examples that were displayed on the media time and time again. But what I don't like is his language. Explain what policies. I mean, I'll just say it like this. When I have people that are in the chat that are smarter than these guys that are speaking at this time, and this is who people listen to on a regular basis just because it comes on a massive format, then, then this is the kind of thing I like to point to when I sit up there and wonder why people are so fucking oblivious, because they listen to shit like this. It's like if they are sitting at home, you have to be the one to convince them to get up off their asses and vote for you. A vote is something, I don't care how many people died in the past, it's nothing that you are entitled to. And if they died for it, shit, why don't you make the best informed decision that you possibly can? For the memory of the people who were bloodied, beaten, and killed for a black person's right to vote. See, I don't know why we don't treat our vote with more reverence than what we treat it. A lot of people say, well, the vote don't really matter anyway. I don't like to listen to those people, because it does matter. It may not carry as much gravity as we would like it to carry, but yeah, it does matter. It's just not being used properly. But that's my opinion.
oh yeah, I'm gonna come out and vote for Warnock, but in that gubernatorial race, oh, I'm not really feeling Stacey Abrams or Kemp, right? And some of them will be honest. I've been in conversations with men, and some of it is faith based. I've been in conversations with brothers that say, I just don't think a woman should be governor, right? I don't think a black woman should be.
That's fucking bullshit. I hate when people do that. Oh well, I've talked to plenty of people who have said such, trying to keep his virtue signal up. Let us know who these problematic people are. Have some balls.
Be governed. I don't think they were meant to be. I have had that conversation, but then you also get this other conversation from somebody who's like, oh, I don't know what it is about, it's just something, and they won't just come out and say what the issue is. So I think part of this is on the candidates to address our issues, and Stacey Abrams has a piece of her platform that specifically speaks to issues that black men care about. Roland mentioned a couple of them. And we care about economic stability, entrepreneurialism, all that. We care about police violence. So she has that in her agenda, but part of this isn't, we have to be honest, isn't going to be about her and her efforts and her policy to address our issues. There's a conversation that we've got to have.
Why does he keep saying that this is a conversation we got to have when this conversation has been had through many forms of the media? We sit up here and discuss ad nauseum, by the way. Why is it a conversation that needs to be had? The conversation has been had plenty of times, and there have been some fucked up points of view. And then those conversations have been so bad and so one-sided, to the point where you got people, black men in particular, that feel as if they have to start YouTube channels to get some of these corrected messages out. Because this is certainly not the only piece of media that's been like this. This is not some first time shit. They write little. This was basically a hit piece against black men, and I felt as if it was important to discuss it on this channel, because this is not something that is a weird, odd occurrence. This is something that happens on a regular basis. No, you don't have to vote for Stacey Abrams. Sorry, people. She's not entitled to it. Video volume low. Yeah, that's just, I gotta get better audio. I'll be the first one to admit that. I want transparency with you guys. Nope, Stacey Abrams is not entitled to your vote. No one is. Not Barack Obama. I mean, even though his 2 terms are over. Not Andrew Gillum. Even though he lost by the margin, which no one made an issue of, by the way. No one did. I mean, and we're talking about the pre-scandal mentality. And even though that was a fact that he was voted for 83% by black women, 92% by black men. And if he would have had that support from black women, it'd be a different conversation in Florida. Not to say that these are the same situations. It's just that if you're not going to put up that argument for Andrew Gillum, why the fuck should we put up that argument for Stacey Abrams? Man, y'all down there. I see y'all down there, Red Planet Photography. What's going on? Well, what was the need to mention Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed because they had an outreach of black men? Don't worry, there's still a lot of suckers out there that still I mean, Kevin Samuels. I'm quite sure that they have talked Kevin Samuels back to life. They've talked him up so much because they won't let the man die. I look at Facebook, they won't let the man die. They still making fun of him because they feel as if he deserves all this vitriol and all this hatred because he got popular the way he did. And this is evidence of it. This is recent. This ain't some shit from when he first died. This is very recent. Shoot. Pointed the finger at black men for the failures of this Western culture. When there are, in fact, black men that are trying to push against all this bull crap. And what do? We point the finger at motherfuckers that hate the shit too. She got a head like an AC. Man, y'all motherfuckers. Shoot. And I mean, like, you got Tariq Nasheed, like, which, you know, this man, him and Eric July, they got like they got like the Midas touch. Shoot, every cause that they champion turns to gold. Like, then you got guys like Dr. Umar too. You know, guys who, you know, in their own way, they try to step up. But you always got those people. You always got those people, you know, that just have a problem with black men taking the decision-making power to our own hands. Oh, black men are supposed to lead. I bet you Tiffany Cross has drunken wine drinking conversation with her friends. Oh, why aren't these black men out here leading us? And then when we decide to take charge of something, why don't black men just get in line? Getting in line is not leadership. You're supposed to lead. You like why do we have people that actually think that black men leading is doing exactly what they tell us to do? Like we got to do exactly. Oh, vote Democrat, god damn it. Lead us to those polls that we want you to go to. Shoot. when I made that video about Dulce Sloan and why didn't you approach Florida the same way you approach Alabama using a nationally televised show? You know, I go. I always be one of the first ones. I always throw out the disclaimer. I don't hate. I don't hate black women. I hate some of their ways. Just like with some of the dudes. I don't hate you. I just hate some of your ways. That doesn't mean that I'm a misogynist or I'm a sexist, but if you're going to keep calling me that, then so be it. Fuck you in your life. Okay, I'll be that. But in order to gain support, you can't insult people. You can't talk down to people. I could be talking about Stacey Abrams like you guys are. Shoot, one time I was at Dunkin' Donuts, man. Shoot, I heard the door fly open. There was a lot of noise. I turned around. It was Stacey Abrams. She looked at me, and in very few words, but in a very direct tone, she looks at me and says, "Get the fuck out of my way." I mean, that's very easy. What would that have to do with her qualifications to running a state? Not a damn thing. Is it funny? I mean, maybe. Anyway, hopefully y'all are pressing like on my broadcast and see we got 56 in the building. JB Mega Montana. Yes, you do. You hate black women because you won't let them abuse you. Like, god damn. You mean to tell me in order to prove my love, I have to be a punching bag? K. Dot, what's going on? Black men being brutally honest. A brother said, I wasted so much time trying to find a cooperative black girl. Mission impossible. Do, 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 do. JLJ 504 HD. Tiffany Cross Eyes have those conversations over General Foods International Coffees. You must watch Professor Black Truth. But salute to you, man. Salute to you. Let's look at some of these comments. I'm gonna go back and look at some of these comments. Hurry up and buy. What's going on? D. Scott with the super chat. Appreciate it. We should thank Tiffany. Let me see if I can interpret that. Ray Hama, the Hama Force. What's going on? Shoot. Okay. American Negro J3. I see y'all down there. SMMFH. Shaking my motherfucking head. This bitch said, get in line with black women. Yeah, man. I mean, shit. No, you need to get the fucking line with whatever line I'm in. You know, I would say that I am not entitled to your respect. I am not entitled to you treating me as if I'm your leader. But if I know these things, it'll be, if I know that, that not only am I not entitled, that you feel as if I'm not qualified for such things, for you to get in line with me instead of me having to get in line with you, then fuck you. Shit. I don't have to deal with your ass. None of us do. From the norm says white feminists taught black females real men follow women. Seriously? Seriously, what was the other side had to say? It said I was about to rally the troops. Thought they got you, kid. No, I mean it's technical difficulties. Just saying that. a lot of these guys here talk about, how you got to get your equipment straight and on point, and I'm one of those guys that have to get my equipment straight and on point. It's a process that's taken a little bit more time than I wanted to, and there's a lot of guys who get support on these channels. They put it into um, investing whatever money they get into making a better product. And how you do that is you have to have good equipment, a operational laptop that you haven't dropped at least 15 times, something like that. So, let me tell y'all something. I really like doing YouTube. I really do. And despite what people have to say about, especially in guys in my particular age group doing YouTube, it is you have to be a guy who has thick skin. You have to look past the BS, because this right here, what you see up on the screen, I mean, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed. Um, you know, literally have probably done more for black people than the other two that's on the screen, Tiffany Cross and Stacey Abrams. Now, if here's one point that Roland Martin made, if she really wanted our support as black men, why is she just talking to us now? Why is she talking to us weeks before the election? Why wasn't it a concentrated effort? Okay, once Biden got in there, the supposed good guy, the savior, why wasn't there a concentrated effort to solidify the black male vote? I mean, you got the black woman vote. You got their support. That's something that you guys don't even have to work on. But if black men do feel this way, why not talk to some actual black men and not some intersectional feminists and some, numbers guy and Roland Martin? Talk to someone else for a change. Talk to people who experience this every day. Tiffany Cross should not have been speaking for black men. And this may sound a little sexist, but I'd rather see her ass in a kitchen making a sandwich than speaking for black men on a national platform in the tone that she spoke in. Yes, I said make a sandwich in house slippers. Red Planet Photography. That's why I'm glad the Republicans are attacking the Gibbets now. Oh, God. Anthony Drosos thought I missed the show. No, you didn't, brah. Oh, you didn't. Afro Troop TV. Damn, that's one grizzly looking. D. Scott with the super chat. I really appreciate it. For clarity, the more people on major platforms keep bringing up KS, TN, Dr. T, etc., they're fanning the flame. Thanks, Tip, for the new gear. Yeah. This does like the whole bad publicity rule. I know that a lot of people don't believe in that. They don't. They act like it doesn't exist. But yeah, bad publicity is still publicity. If and this is for a lot of these little detractors out here, these little old smug haters, especially guys that are local to the space. There's this huge growing problem in their estimation of black men doing podcasts. They're saying all this negative shit, trying to do things like make manosphere a buzz term just to get people to hate us before they even hear anything we got to say. So what that does is they keep mentioning these black male podcasters, then people are going to check us out, and discover that whoever was saying that about the black male podcaster was just hating. You know, just to get y'all to think about that kind of thing. If you're going to make anything the subject matter, I mean, is your channel, is your content, but you know, it has to make sense. That's a rule that everyone should be following. So there, thanks for that super chat once again, D. Scott. Hybrid catastrophic impact X83rd power of Stacey Abrams shaved her head. She looked like fraternal twin. Oh God. George Foreman. Shit, George Foreman, you know, he been in a little trouble lately. You know, he got me too'd. I haven't heard much of it because I mean it just sounded ridiculous. It just did. I mean, they talk about something that happened in the 70s that had absolutely zero evidence. I said that's just somebody trying to get some money. That's all. Why would you wait this long? Why would if you'd have told back then it'd have been a scandal. People act like naivety. You know, naivety is an excuse. Ignorance isn't. I'll say that. Every night you gotta fight to prove your love. Yeah, but you know, hopefully one day I can get my volume issues fixed. RPM said no sound. Sorry about that. You know, I tried to turn it up as best as I could on this end. The nameless protagonist. What's going on? America has a modality of destroying competition and not competing. It does not negotiate but coherence. Thus, if they can't have the black male vote, they will sabotage it. Abusive X. Mm, this whole notion that we don't know what we're doing, so you know we would rather go to the opposition. That like that's female shit. That's female shit. That's projection. That's what they would do. They would get mad and they will go to the so-called oppressor. Going to look for acceptance. Go from the so-called ruling class. That's why you got all these arguments over, you know, the Little Mermaid being black. It's about acceptance. You know, but nameless protagonist, very intelligent man. You know, you have a really strong point. If we can't have it, we'll make it mean less. We'll actually we'll actually make it into something bad if we can. Just like, you know, if like just like they say the Klan support Trump, if black men support a certain candidate, then that's bad for them. Would you actually believe that there are black people that would love to see something like that happen? There's another thing to request politically a statute of limitations on grape and Me Too style accusations. I mean, there's already supposed to be an existing statute of limitations. Me Too was formed to eliminate the statute of limitations. That's why you got all these people coming out like talking about some old this happened to me in 1973, you know. But, you know, I do get your point, you know, every fight has to start somewhere. All right. Yeah, but like I said, black man, you don't owe anybody anything. If anything, they owe you. They owe us. Are black men being ignored? Yeah, we're being ignored. If you're a black man and you're not used to being ignored, it means that you were probably some spoiled, pampered kid and your parents had oodles of money. What was Tiffany Cross trying to do? What was she trying to prove? That she is absolutely an authority figure over the black male thought? Shit, Cynthia G thinks she is. I forgot she gave herself some kind of label. From the Norm 18 says, when black men voted majority Republican, our community was doing better. They can't deny the stats. Yeah, that's why a lot of us are starting to say things like we don't like stats. Okay, D Scott, we got another super chat. Appreciate it. Says BW equal dirty mackin. Mm-hmm. Yep. Here go Dane One. Stacy look like Nutty Professor. Shoot. Next thing you know, women are gonna start filing charges on men for doing something to them in their dreams. Man, dude, bruh. I've seen some crazy tweets. I used to get some crazy screenshots. Man, I wish I had transferred pics properly from a phone I had a few years ago. Man, I used to have some crazy shit. I mean, it is. Look, I used to have screenshots of people saying all kinds of weird things, like like what one example I used to show was the whole fart rate thing. Basically, if a guy intentionally passes gas loudly around a woman, she can accuse him of some kind of form of, okay, I should have said grape, but you know, I guess y'all already get the context. But that kind of mentality comes from like crazy blue haired attention seekers. Saint Nick 69. That woman is an enemy of black men. Which one are you talking about? Stacey Abrams or Tiffany Cross? I mean, shit, in many ways, but like I said, is like, who the fuck do you think you are to tell black men to get in line with anyone? This is just the way I look at it. You don't have to look at it that way. Says Tiffany Cross, Zerlina Maxwell, Joy Reid, Simone Sanders. If they're anti-black man, they're on there. Yeah, yeah. Simone Sanders. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that was another polarizing thing that happened. Excuse me. How Simone Sanders publicly said that, about talking about black men and our unsolicited opinions, which was another polarizing wake up call. A black woman that worked directly with then presidential candidate Joe Biden. When you see these patterns of things, you have to pay attention to it. These are the kind of things that happen that help us make informed decisions on who we should be supporting politically. Man, from the norm says it sounds like that stupid crap called man spreading when we sit so our balls can have breathing room. I saw a video of a crazy little girl, I guess, calling herself a feminist. What she was doing was when men were sitting on the train a certain way, doing that thing that you said that is stupid, which is absolutely correct, called manspreading. What she was doing, she had a bottle of water, but it had bleach in it. She would pour it on these guys' crotches, ruining their pants. Look, this is a white girl now. She'll pour it on their crotches, then she'll walk away. I think in a couple instances, she made a remark, "Stop manspreading." I mean, dudes minding their own business, and this is and the a lot of what I will say is when people were commenting on the video, a lot of them were saying, "Yeah, I would have knocked that little bitch." They would. I don't condone violence. That's the stance. I don't condone violence of any kind. But when you invade someone's private space, all bets are off. You don't go around ruining people's clothes because you're listening to stupid ass shit that stupid ass people are saying on the internet. Who knows? They might have got this shit from TV. They spread a lot of goofy shit on TV too. I just don't like to use like just the internet. Lot Dior Atrides. I probably screwed that up, but thank you for watching. Yes, that was in Russia, I think. All right. Now, reminder, please press like on this broadcast. If you're not subscribed, also, please subscribe to this channel. Much appreciate the love and support that you guys show me on a regular basis when I do broadcast. Yeah. Yeah, I got 62 likes. All right. So and likes are for free. And you said that was in Russia. I think you're talking about the whole man spreading bleach incident. Yeah, which means if somebody did pop her in the head, they might have had some kind of unrealistically brutal punishment on them. Yeah. All right. Saint Nick 69 said that's called assault. Yeah, it is. Said Detroit 313. Really, she didn't drink bleach. She didn't drink bleach. She should have. Oh, and Lot Dior Atrade says she had a burly man behind her as a bodyguard. Well, he'd have got his ass kicked that day. He'd have got his ass beat. I mean, that shit would have been viral on World Star. I'd have made sure of that. Yeah, man. But I know this is gonna sound uh a little harsh, but people need to learn their fucking place. It is no Tiffany Cross, and that includes people like Tiffany Cross. Shut the fuck up. Just like we got to stop being nice about this. People who believe my delivery is harsh, don't talk down to me. Don't talk down to the black man because you can't get the job done. Shoo. What if she does get in office? What if she does become the governor of the state of Georgia? Will it matter? Should it matter? She'll probably put all her efforts into eliminating constitutional carry. She took your guns. Saint Nick, so she's a coward too. Yeah, people who sit up there and mention dead people who can't defend themselves because they're dead. Yeah, that's very cowardly. That is a coward's way. My deal is and confront someone while they still alive. Why are you talking about them while they dead? They can't do nothing to you. You being a punk. You being a bitch. Art in the Stall. What's going on? Art in the Stall TV. You talk about somebody when they dead. Yeah, that takes a really big person. And yes, it still goes on very strong to this day. I mean, if you have an account on Facebook, uh, find a Kevin Samuels Facebook group to join, and you will see the disgusting, evil shit that people say about this man just for becoming a millionaire by a YouTube channel. I ever become a millionaire and people don't like it, they can kiss my ass. If it's by a YouTube channel or buy lottery or whatever. Greg said Werner has come to Tiffany Cross. That's why she all uptight and probably sexually frustrated. About that, I don't understand. Like, that's why they got this bullshit soft girl era. You know, they know what they can do to rectify that problem. Just be nice. Be personable. Be approachable. Don't call everything catcalling. But I was like, yeah, I dropped this link twice. This is about run its course. That's what many of their problem is, St. Nick's. Put that on the screen. She probably mad she can't get a white man the way Tamara Hall did. And yeah, she would probably be in one of the places to do that. Get her a zaddy, on a on a white controlled news channel. After they talk crazy about KS, they go back to their miserable lives. Stacey, oh God. Yeah, what up, Chaos?
What's good, Kev? What's good? In God we trust. In Kev we trust. Yeah. Look at Stacey Abrams. She think in a million years she's gonna represent the state of Georgia, without no man, no kids, and they think someone's gonna put you in the highest position in office.
Yeah, that's a great point you just made, because I mean, how can you push? I mean, because one big thing in politics is family values. How can you push for family values if you ain't got no family?
Mm-hmm.
And so
even white people don't do that shit. Last time I checked, times have changed, but they've been very consistent. For you to represent us, you got to have some form of structure. And she's about to be 49 this year. Am I right?
Yeah, I believe so.
A person that's almost pushing 50, you have failed to secure some form of family, if at all. What that tells you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do well once you're in a big. Now, a lot of people say, "Well, that is disqualify her doing a job." Yes, it will, because running and caring for your community, especially in the position where you're dealing with not only black people, white folks, they're gonna look at you side eye. Your politics is gonna be reflected because you don't have no one you could lean on. You have no responsibility.
Yeah, and
you're selfish.
Yeah, and like I said, or I mean, like you might have a point. I mean, you have to appeal to the family demographic, because how else are women going to drag me into the polls? Because a lot of, and I'm going to say this, a lot of husband and husband types, these guys are simps. They'll do anything for their wives.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, but it's like, yeah, how can you know what's best for families if you're not a family person yourself? I mean, yeah, Chaos. That was a very good job, man, pointing that out. I wish I'd have thought about it first, but
Man, it's just as simple nowadays when you look at it and really examine the scope and you look at every politician. You don't see no bachelors in certain seats of office. There is a quota. And this is one thing, because you have Kevin Samuels on the right, rest in peace. He said best, for you to climb up the corporate ladder, which politics is not a form of ladder, you got to have a wife and children.
yeah.
He's been always constantly jogging this to every person's head on certain live streams on his channel. And now it's pretty evident in today's time we're in now. So,
I mean, like it may not
should-
seem fair, but
Yeah.
it's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to carry a certain image in order for you to be seen as someone who empathizes. Because I mean, like you said, how can you make decisions that are best for family if you don't have a family? See, I would expect Stacey Abrams to get in there and make decisions that are best for single women like her. And that any race could fall into that. But then like the whole setting black men up for the okie doke whenever she loses, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. Because I mean, it's probably safe to say she probably blames the reason for her being alone is a black man wouldn't try to lock that down. I mean, really, like we talk about these guys all the time that are upset because this is what is said a lot about the guys in this space. These guys are upset because they don't have a woman. But here's the thing. We understand that emotional shit is magnified when it comes to women. So if you saying guys feel that way about not having a woman, imagine how she feels. I mean, it's not to say that she's hetero, but if she is homo, she's not even doing good in that area. So, I mean, I do see a person that, puts on the smiley face mask, but when she takes off the mask, she's probably miserable. So, since her numbers aren't what she wants her numbers to be, who better to blame than the object of her angst? The black man. The one that didn't the one that didn't help her cure her loneliness, so to speak. That's why she already trying to throw us under the bus.
Right.
And no one's entitled to anything. Ain't no black man supposed to lock Stacey Abrams down no more than a black woman supposed to submit to any of these guys around here.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, it's just that if you are going to constantly go at a group of men saying that you want these guys to lead, these black men need to be leading. The worst thing you can fucking say is to get in line. I was like, it's a massive turnoff. Massive. It's a massive turnoff. And take this from a black man, because I love how people who aren't black men got the most to fucking say. And I know somebody probably listening. But y'all niggas talk about black women. Get the fuck out of here. It doesn't make it any more right. It doesn't make it any more wrong. Saint Nick 69. James Buchanan, the president just before Lincoln, and he was gay. Lived with a man. Look it up on the History Channel show, The Presidents. All right. Red Planet Photography. The Dibs are looking to destroy the family. And St. Nick's Red Planet Photography, yeah, it seems more and more that way because of the things that the Democrats are championing. And, from what I understand, they really went above and beyond in the media to put Stacey Abrams on a pedestal because when Joe Biden won, Stacey Abrams was credited as saving the election in Georgia. I believe she's also made some television appearances on this show, Star Trek Discovery. Star Trek Discovery gets a lot of criticism because it's one of those woke television shows. And these are the kind of writers that insert their personal politics into a space adventure. So, I mean, maybe not so fair for me to say because I haven't watched an episode of Star Trek Discovery, but I did hear that Stacey Abrams has made a couple of appearances. What they tried to do is they tried to popularize Stacey Abrams and, tried to low key serve up the state of Georgia as a reward for strong quote fingers here, saving the country from Donald Trump. Saving the country from Donald Trump. Robert Nelson, what's going on? I've been observing this space since 2013 when the Manosphere started in 2015. For me, Sarge Willie Pete best described our situation between our counterpart. Okay, we'll go try to find that video then. I mean, I listen to SWP sometimes. I listen to SWP sometimes, but like I said, just the purpose of this broadcast is to kind of keep your eyes open, black man. And if you wonder why you have certain groups react the way they react to you, this is not the only. Like I was saying, this is not the only hit piece that's ever happened to black men. This is not the only hit piece. This has been going on for years and years and years. And black men are just now getting tired of it, which is a statement to the tolerance of black men. You have those few guys that are in the black manosphere that you don't like to hear the sounds of their voices. Doesn't mean that they're wrong every fucking time. Why are we to this point? Why do you have spaces such as the Black Manosphere? Because of these constant hit pieces, because of this intersectional feminism that is constantly making the black man the enemy. We're the big bad guy. We're the boogeyman that hides under the bed. We're the villain. For what? Our dedication and servitude, our simping. That's why we're the enemy, because it is so easy to make us give us that kind of light. Because for real, all cowards know that no one really likes the black man at the end of the day, especially a smart, intelligent, assertive, no nonsense black man. That's the last motherfucker they want on this planet. And we have to start to, taking the actions so we can take ourselves more seriously. Once we do that, everything else will fall into place for us. But we always got like the dummy that was talking about, oh, this is the conversation that the sexism, this is the conversation that we need to have. Those are the kind of guys that set us back. So that's it. That's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and Anything you got? Anything else you want to say? Chaos Rain. Chaos Rain is probably
No.
Okay.
I'm surprised people sitting down. Usually, somebody would come up and chime in on this particular subject matter.
Well, you did. You came up and you chimed in. So, I mean, chaos lives matter.
Yes, of course. Always.
All right. Robert Nelson facts. Super facts. I 110% agree. Saint Nick 69 says, I've been watching Tiffany Cross for a couple of years. The black men on her show are usually alphabet with Roland Martin playing the token simp. Yep, because that's what it looked like. I mean, he did play. He did talk with that kind of that low key lisp. He was like, "Oh, we need to have a conversation about the sexism and the misogyny." Even with Hillary Clinton. Like, look, guys. I don't know if this revelation that I'm about to make is going to shock you, but I don't have that much empathy with white people. I don't. I mean, if you're a white person and you lose and you're high profile, that is squarely on you. I have really nothing to say for that on behalf of your defense or whatever. Is and also based on the history of this country. Shoot. I know what some of you are gonna say. You probably say what Hybrid says when when certain issues like this come up and you don't exactly want to face it. I mean, Hybrid is very good about facing things, but some of y'all will probably say what he would say. But she thick. But she thick, man. Come on, man. You fucker. Because for many of us, sex is the barometer.
More like thirst.
Thirst. Oh, okay, yeah. That's thirst. Yeah, it's synonymous with what I was talking about. So thanks for the clarity.
Thirsty ass niggas.
Yeah. And I mean, like, she's not an ugly woman from what I can see. Tiffany Cross. I'm going to be very specific when I, because we got an image on the screen. She's not that bad looking a woman. I'm sure if she dresses up real nice and put on some sexy outfit or whatever, I think she would be a nice little eye candy for any of you brothers that may be watching this broadcast or within earshot of what I'm saying. But the attitude has to go along with it. Just like we were talking about with Nia Long and Emi Udoka last night.
Mm-hmm.
So just always look. We always got to stay aware. We always got to keep our eyes open because a lot of these attitudes are the results of us not keeping our eyes open for real. And that's just really the context I was trying to give. Let's be better about asserting ourselves, black men. We don't have to do it in a mean, forceful way, but we gotta start implementing whatever works. Adapting is a major thing that will help us with this. Adapting to certain things. So let's see. Let me read these last two comments. In fact, being alphabet is damn near a prerequisite for being on PS, PMS, NBC. Man, I just saw that shit, man. I was like, that's why he said that PMS, NBC, or an old fossil like Al Sharpton and James Clyburn. Yeah, when Roland Martin said that the black men that are in the Democratic Party haven't really gotten the job done, Jim Clyburn is one of those guys. Yeah, Robert. I mean, shit. I mean, when Biden got elected, Jim Clyburn, I don't need nothing for my vote. I just want to feel good, and Chaos Reign. I mean, tell me if. I mean, I don't know if you know this, and I mentioned this a couple times in this broadcast. Once you're elected senator,
yeah,
whether you serve one term or you're reelected or not, you get a 6-figure salary for the rest of your life.
Shit.
A 6-figure salary.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, like becoming a senator, that's the shit. You know that senator that was twerking, doing a
Mm-hmm.
handstand twerking. She gets
Mm-hmm.
a 6-figure salary for the rest of her life, whether she wins the next time or not.
Yeah. But
Like,
it's funny. 6 figures. That's don't sound bad for a woman that. Let's be honest. She looking for a guaranteed check.
yeah, I mean that's what most of, that's what while we're distracted by a lot of BS, that's what they do on Capitol Hill. That's all that little boring stuff that seems like it's complicated drivel on C-SPAN.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they do. They look more out for themselves than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even mention this one. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention this one. Then we're gonna go off the air. You heard what Stacey Abrams said about the whole heartbeat thing, the heartbeat at 6 weeks,
What she said about it?
saying that the heartbeat isn't really a heartbeat. It's a manufactured sound by the ultrasound machine to basically the whole purpose is for psychological bonding of the parent to the 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 fetus. She said it's not really a living thing; it's a clump of cells, and the whole heartbeat thing is just something manufactured so men can control women's bodies.
Shit.
They have made a big deal about this. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen real quick. Like
And
I
this
said,
talking to a woman that doesn't want to have children. Imagine that.
yeah. I mean, let me see if I can.
Imagine that, kid.
Stacey Abrams
Larry died.
heartbeat. What are y'all thinking in the chat? Like once I show it to you, y'all let me know what y'all think in the chat. See if I can find. MSNBC, Fox News is attacking Stacey Abrams for speaking the truth. Because even when I've tried to do research on this myself, some sites say heartbeat started 6 weeks. Other sites, say what Stacey Abrams said. So it's really uh let's see, the Daily Signal says fact check. I mean that's why I call her like an intersectional feminist, because it's a extremely feminist talking point. I mean, depending on where your stance is, whether you're pro life or pro choice.
Mm-hmm.
Fact check. There's no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks, says Stacey Abrams. Says Stacey Abrams, the Democratic candidate for governor of Georgia, denied that unborn children have a heartbeat at 6 weeks and that the ultrasound is part of the grand conspiracy to give men control over women's bodies. Statements that run contrary to well established facts and medical standards of fetal development. The claim Abrams hoped to establish that legislation protecting children from abortion after doctors can detect a fetal heartbeat is based on bad science. At a campaign event at Ray Charles Performing Arts Center in Atlanta on Wednesday, Abrams said, "There is no such thing as a heartbeat at 6 weeks. It is a manufactured sound designed to convince people that men have the right to take control of a woman's body." Critics immediately mocked her assertion that an ultrasound is part of a vast patriarchal conspiracy to brainwash women, and some call Abrams a circulation denier. Marjorie Danis Felser, president of SBA Pro Life America, says that Abrams denies science and shows how far pro abortion Democrats will go to strip the unborn of humanity and promote abortion on demand for any reason at any point in pregnancy up until birth.
Hmm.
Abrams, who is not a scientist, well, just like Ketanji Brown Jackson is not a biologist, is virtually quoting an argument made by abortionists and advanced by the abortion industry that denies the science of embryological development. abortionist Nisha Verma. What in the actual point serves to be an abortionist? Can you imagine somebody walking up to you and say, "I'm an abortionist"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kill that little motherfucker inside that person. Come on now. Like, people looking for dragons to slay.
Oh yeah.
Fetal heartbeat. Do you know? And I'm not a scientist. Okay, I'm just like Stacey Abrams in that way. I'm not a scientist, but the heart is an extremely vital organ to not be developed. To not to not take that long to develop. I mean, I would say that your heart and your brain probably need the most care and attention. But I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist. Even though I don't need to be a biologist for me to tell the difference between a male and a female.
But we gotta understand, kid. We listen to an individual that has, unfortunately, and it applies to men, but let's say for the ladies, when you can't secure no man, you're a failure. So anything regardless concerned about what women do with their wombs and heartbeat, fatal heartbeat, you wouldn't mind most of these women go around and deleting their babies because you don't want to be a mother. So misery does love company.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
And,
seems
and it
like
goes to show that a lot of ladies that's impression and minds should never listen to a woman that one doesn't have children or alleged has children, and two, tell them what you should be doing with your body and who the man you should be fucking. You know,
mm,
that's how I see it. You have no
yeah,
accomplishments in your own life, but you telling people.
yeah. And I'm a person that look. I'll say it. Myself. You could do whatever you want to with your body. You just have to be careful with your advocacy and be consistent on your stances. And a lot of people don't believe in killing.
Okay.
Whether it's an unborn fetus or not. I'm not saying that I champion that cause. People die every day, unfortunately. Many unfortunate things happen. But, why is this even an issue? I mean, it just seems as if, this is an issue for them just as, they championing people like Zaya Wade. you know, it just seems like they're doing it. If you want to go on with the conspiracy of population control, I mean, you probably could.
Well, they're achieving it right now. So,
Yeah, yeah. Oh
well,
yeah,
actually, my
yeah,
fault. They're not
definitely.
achieving because last time I checked, I googled population still growing. We're almost approaching 8 billion by next year.
Yeah,
So,
and it's always seems like it's these Stacey Abrams types that always bring these kinds of things up. You know, I have a question for Miss Abrams. What man has ever tried to control your body? Shoot, just like look, you can, maybe if somebody told you over there is where you go with that bullshit. I don't know, man. I don't know. Is a lot of these issues are very, very sensitive. Um, it has gotten to a level of stupidity. Why is it that we don't have a group of politicians that try to champion tangibles for the very people that put them in office? I do not know. Um, let me respond to a comment. Uh, we are literally talking about politics, uh, infantry skills. Okay, so we got POFPX 35OFO money QFO says 6-figure salary is a downgrade for Capitol Hill senator. They steal millions while in office. Yeah, I mean, being a senator does open the door for that. But my point in saying the whole 6-figure thing is like, uh, just seems when you see stuff like that the resources aren't being allocated properly. You open the doors for selfishness once you put people in office. And it's the very same people that you keep telling that you can't do this, you can't do that, we can't do this. That would be very hard to get that done. They get a lot of things done for themselves. Seriously. And you're supposed to be working for the American people. And this is like I said, this is why you got a lot of black men that saying fuck this shit. And who can blame them at the end of the day? Who can blame us at the end of the day? We're not getting anything out of this. Shit, you had one black man that tried to make all the difference in the world. Tried to introduce this contract with Black America. What happened? Dumb Negroes rejected that shit. Man said they're always coming up with the excuses not to be wives or mothers. Anything that has to do with being traditional and blame men. And you know the irony of that? Every time a black man gets somebody they want to have a family with when they don't want to, and that person's happen to be non-black, they're the first ones to be up there dick policing. I don't need a man but want to be the biggest dick policeman or dick police woman.
Because they say you must be miserable. You must join me.
Shoot, I don't need no man, but what are you doing with that woman right there? You don't get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. And dang one, she need a white dude. White dudes need to take more fat ones off. Shoot, that's what they say about us. We don't know how to do anything but get fat Beckys. Then they get mad when they see people like Patrick Patterson. Let's see. Here's the infantry skills. Local politics, black men, particularly in small southern towns where our population is already sizable. The Dems are flooding the South with illegal aliens to replace you politically. We don't have time to waste. Okay, which brings me back to my point that Stacey Abrams wants to make Georgia into a sanctuary state for illegals. What that means basically is it would be unlawful to ask illegal. I think one of the things is it's unlawful to ask illegals about their illegal status. Like sanctuary means everything, that they have all the rights that you have that you barely have being a citizen in this country as a black man. They got all those rights. And that's what Stacey Abrams wants to do. She also wants to take away constitutional carry. Creating this framework like it's the wild, wild west based on shit that's already happening anyway without constitutional carry. In fact, all the bullshit that happens, constitutional carry is more so a good thing for people to be able to protect themselves from vagrants. So, do I believe that Stacey Abrams will win? The only reason why I say it's a small possibility that she may pull it off is because they may be trying to so-called quote-unquote reward her for saving the country from Donald Trump, as they say. But if she loses, it's totally on her. And what I'm telling black men is that shit is not your fault if she loses. It's the fact that she didn't use enough expedience to get her own damn self into office. This media campaign to blame black men is weak as fuck. It's weak. Sorry. If you don't agree that is weak, I have to wonder about you. But let me see. POFPX350FO money. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say with that. I mean, I'm sure there's a proper pronunciation, but just forgive me if I just whacked that up. Said the man that tried to control Stacey Abrams' body lost an arm. Oh God. The pork shoulder. That man said pork shoulder. Shoot. What y'all know about that cow chest? Nah, that's beef brisket. You know, that's it. She can get it, but she got to shit the fuck up. I guess you talking about Tiffany Cross, or you could be talking about Stacey Abrams. You know, there's a lot of guys that love them big women. Shoot, big girls need love too. Shoot, and this woman needed love a long time ago. She's making her excuses ahead of time when she loses. That is exactly. That is exactly true. Kev, you and GA, yes. Uh, what up, PK Angel? She a dummy cause Planned Parenthood states that is a heartbeat on their page. From what has been reported, Planned Parenthood, in light of Stacey Abrams' comments, have actually changed that. You know, Planned Parenthood is the abortion people, so. But anyway, I'm finna get out of here. I'm. Do I remember her first run? Yeah, I remember her first run. This is her second attempt, which means that whatever mistakes that she made in her first run, she should have had corrected for her second run. Shoot, why would you blame black men for that? Shoot. But you know that's just by virtue of the fact that you know that's what they do with us anyway. They blame the shit out of us. Politically, the South is the last place black men have, especially in small southern towns. Population-wise, the Dems already flooded the coastal cities to drown black men's vote, and now they are doing it in the South. And yes, that's kind of Stacey Abrams' goal. You know, when people start talking about all that diversity stuff and you know equal opportunity for all and shit, I mean, it is that means that yet and still, like when you know black people finally get to the front of the line, they got shit bumping us back again. You know, especially when you hear a black politician talking about that shit, diversity and inclusion and everything. It's just you got to wait some fucking more, black person. Shoot. But anyway, yeah, okay. All right. I think that's gonna be it for now. Tiffany Cross, you wrong. You wrong in, you know, the audacity of you to talk down to black men. But we already know about places like PMS NBC. Stacey Abrams, if you lose, you lost because of you. Period. I don't give a fuck. You lost because you were. You know, if Barack Obama would have lost and never became president, um, it would have been on him. But I mentioned Barack Obama because Barack Obama did what it took to win. Stacey Abrams is not immune from that. Just like old douchebag in the damn video. Oh, but not only for people like Stacey Abrams, but Hillary Clinton. The same thing with Hillary Clinton. It was on Hillary Clinton to convince the people, and I keep saying this to people. It was on Hillary Clinton to convince the people that she was the best candidate for the job, and she didn't. She let Donald Trump beat her. And quite frankly, Donald Trump should have beat Biden too. But you know, is that'll be some make you mad type conversation right there. Everybody got to earn their votes. Stacey Abrams is no different. She is not entitled to your vote, black man. I don't give a fuck how much she says it. Again, she loses, it's on her. And that's it for tonight. I may come to you tomorrow night. I may not. You know, I'll make that decision till then. I think I got a good topic lined up if I do come on tomorrow night. But anyway, let's just keep our fingers crossed on that one. Depends on how tomorrow goes. I mean, nothing real serious going on. Just, you know, just generally speaking, you know, uh, tomorrow's not promised. And that is a grim reality. especially for Kevin Samuels, who is not here anymore. You know, his tomorrow wasn't promised on that fateful day. And, you know, but the mere fact that you got people in mainstream media that are still triggered at the sound of his name, as well as all these little punk ass motherfuckers who are disparaging the man on a daily basis because they were so triggered by what he said. Shit, that is what I call impact. Impact, and Tariq Nasheed is still around to make impact. So great job to both of those men. Kudos to them. And with that being said, we are done here for now. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kev. Thank you to guys like American Negro, PK Angel, RPM, Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power, D Scott, Anthony Drosso, Saint Nick 69, and let's see, Phil Brad. And I mean, if I didn't mention you, don't get mad. I'm just about to get out of here. I will see you guys again soon. Long live the habitual line steppers. In Kev we trust. I'm gonna win. And you guys are winners as well. So, peace out.